Fuck you, yeah.
The words just ooze out of.
I mean, like, he opened a show once with that voice, like, so this is just what I sound like now. I just talk like this now. That's cool, right?
Classic.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. This is Side B of Awesome Hardware, episode 92.
We're early on YouTube. We're like 5 minutes earlier. Oh, because you actually scheduled it for 7.
Are. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're early.
I did. And I just remembered that I didn't upload my thumbnail, but that's okay.
You didn't?
I don't think I did. Did I not upload the thumbnail?
I don't know. It's too late now.
Too late now. Whatever. Who cares?
Oh yeah, you didn't.
Give me where's the thing? I'll do it while I'm introing, cause I'm a
What did you do with it?
effing tasker.
Why would you? I gave it to you. Why would you put it?
Where did it go?
I don't know.
Where? Oh, it's right here.
There it is.
Good Lord, this is the best intro to the show ever. Like, you compare and contrast like how Paul opened his show before we had started drinking, compared to this. Okay, boom.
Do you want me to do the same thing? I can do the same thing for you.
No. So this is a show where Paul and I. Okay, you want to do it? You do it. Do it. Do it.
Hi guys.
Do it.
All right.
Do it, Dad.
Okay. No.
Come on, Dad.
I got this. All right.
I got it. I'm done. The thumbnail's uploaded.
All right, everyone knows exactly what's going on then.
It's a show. Go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is a live show about technology that Kyle and I do every Tuesday evening at 5:30 a.m. Pacific time. We stream it live to twitch.tv/awesomehardware, as well as individually to both of our YouTube channels. My channel is Paul's Hardware, where we already streamed the first half of this show, episode 92A. So you can click that link in the description if you didn't already watch it. Right now we're on episode 92, the second half, B, which is streaming live to Kyle's channel, which is also known as Bitwit.
Yes.
We're going to talk about technology, we're going to drink some beer, drink responsibly, and if you happen to be a younger person or perhaps you get easily offended, please note that we do... We
do not care.
We don't care.
We do not care about your feelings.
We curse sometimes, and there's talk of a questionable nature. So please bear that in mind if you happen to be easily offended.
We're adult man-childs.
All right, I feel good about that.
No, that was a good intro, Paul. Thank you very much for stalling while I got my thumbnail all taken care of. Hopefully, it's appearing now. Yeah, this is tech news. Everything he said is completely accurate. I don't need to say anything. It's weird that I don't have to intro my own show because Paul just did it all.
It's making things
so
easy.
beautifully. So we're gonna go ahead and just start touring ourselves out with our stores. We've got merchandise that we're selling.
Oh yeah.
Paul's got stuff on his store. He's got his
my store
things.
First?
Yeah, we'll do your store. You've got women's
Paul'sHardware.net.
Paul'sHardware.net. You've got shirts for females. You've got these thumbscrew shirts that we're both wearing today on today's show.
Oh, yeah.
The infamous Ziff shirt, mugs, glasses, all that kind of thing. He's got beanies, polo shirts. I can't even think of anything you don't have. You're selling all the things. Whereas...
Human body parts.
Okay, there's a Paul's Hardware kidney.
No, we're all out of that.
Okay.
You're asking what we don't have.
The kidneys will be restocked.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We're still waiting for those to come in from... I don't know. Russia? Where do kidneys come from?
That's good. I haven't played Max
Payne 3
in a while.
if I needed to buy kidneys in bulk, I feel like I would go to Russia.
Probably Russia.
Is that bad? I'm sorry if we have any Russians who watch us.
No, that makes sense.
Or maybe they'd be proud of that. Yes, you come buy kidneys from Russia.
You come buy Mother Russia.
Very good kidneys.
We give the best deals. So yes, go ahead and buy something. Go buy a kidney on Paul's site. Go ahead and buy some stuff on my site.
Kyle's website. Bitwit.tech/store.
Bitwit.tech/store. I've got hoodies for $10 off. Any hoodie that you want. $10 off is pretty decent, and they're only, what, $49 to begin with?
Yeah, so about $35 each right now.
$35 each. That's pretty good for a decent hoodie.
Available in a variety of sizes.
They're all high quality. Use the drop down. I've also got glasses that are really nice, from what I've been told. I've been told. I have never seen one of these in person, but everyone who's ever bought one has been like, dude, these glasses rock. Yeah. So go ahead. They're like kind of tall boy, kind of a glass can style. They're a little bit retro looking, but I thought they were cool. And mugs as well. Sometimes I overclock myself. It's words to live by and all that sort of thing. So go ahead and pick any of those up from either of our stores. You'll get a combined discount if you happen to pick up something from both our stores at the same time. That will be automatically refunded to you. And you'll get a loud and proud Johnson shout out by the end of this episode should you purchase anything from either of our stores. So let's go ahead and dive into our first story here on Tech News, which is about Oculus, actually. Oculus is now on trial going up against Zenimax. Zenimax, I did not know this, they own id Software. And they're a pretty big player in the technology gaming space. But Oculus is being sued right now. They're under a lawsuit right now from Zenimax that apparently says that Oculus, including Palmer Luckey and John Carmack of Oculus, have stolen key IP from Zenimax.
Specifically calls out Carmack?
Yes, it specifically calls both of them out because Palmer Luckey used to work at Zenimax. Or id Software, and I'm sorry, Zenimax, and
oh yeah, that would make sense.
And John Carmack used to work at id Software.
Yes,
I believe.
Yes, he did.
So yeah, apparently they're saying like Zenimax has a really strong case that they're alleging, that's a word, that says like these guys, they stole a bunch of IP from us, and it's pretty much gone to the development of VR as we know it, and we should be taking credit for that. We should be getting all the proceeds and all the money associated with that kind of revelation. And it remains to be seen. We won't know for another 2 or 3 weeks. The trial's supposed to take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks from now to actually finish up. But
what does Oculus have to say about this, Kyle?
Oculus has a lot of things to say. They're saying, for one, there's a quote here saying, "We're disappointed that another company is using wasteful litigation to attempt to take credit for technology that it did not have the vision, expertise, or patience to build."
Oh.
So Oculus is like, shots fired, bitches.
Yeah.
We did this. We owned it. We made it up. You guys are just trying to profit off of us because we're successful and you're not.
To paraphrase, Oculus was basically like, we're sorry this other company couldn't sack up and have the balls to like push out a good, unique, and innovative product. Sorry about that. Now they have to sue us because they're a bunch of losers.
And Oculus is also like, who do you have on the witness team, bitches? We have Mark Zuckerberg.
Bitches, there's like basically anywhere there's a comma in this deposition,
it's basically synonymous with bitches.
You can add the word bitches.
Bitches.
In there, like, yeah.
So trial could take up to 3 weeks, bitches. Mark Zuckerberg is a witness for Oculus. So Mark Zuckerberg, who's the owner, founder, CEO of Facebook, who obviously Facebook owns Oculus now, he's going to be one of the key witnesses that's obviously going to be rooting for Team Oculus. And in the face of all that, Zenimax is claiming to have substantial evidence that they are the rightful owners of creating VR as we know it today, which is a very bold statement. So it's kind of interesting to see whether or not they actually have a foundation or grounds for this statement, or if they're just blowing smoke and they just really want to, just profit a shit ton off of, or ride the curtails of Oculus's success with the Rift.
I'm always torn about this kind of thing because, like, on the one hand,
it's
yes,
hard to say.
If Zenimax had done developments that and created stuff or whatever that Oculus is now using, yes, that sucks. However, like, how close has Zenimax ever come to actually launching a product, whether it be hardware or software, for VR in general? Like,
I think that's the big question.
Is it one of those things where they felt like they owned some IP or patents or whatever it had to do with, or stuff that John Carmack had worked on before he left,
right?
And they're like, well, we'll just sit on this because we know we have the rights to it. Wait till somebody else acts on it and then sue them. I mean, most likely going to be Oculus. Or was it something where it's like they were actually actively working towards something as well? Because like somebody behaving like a patent troll would, where it's like, we're not really doing anything with this. Wait till somebody else does something. Somebody else does something with it, and then we'll sue them and get their profit from them, even though we didn't do the work.
I don't get the impression that was Zenimax's intent, was to just kind of like wait and see, and then like, all right, we'll strike when the iron's hot type of thing. I think that they, had hired John Carmack, and he was doing a lot of work, and then was like, oh shit, I'm going to go on my own. And he took a lot of IP that he had created under Zenimax, which probably under whatever contract that he had signed with them when he was still working for them said, anything you make or do for our company, we kind of own a portion of that, right?
Usually that's how it works.
That's usually how it works. So when he took that all and like made Oculus, with Palmer Luckey, Zenimax is probably like, well, we kind of are entitled to some of that, you know, and I don't think Zenimax is trying to claim full ownership of what VR is today. I think they just want some credit, and I think at the end of the day, the best that they could hope for is just getting a shit ton of money from Oculus in some way, just for the portion of IP that they've helped John Carmack create, or the portion of IP that John Carmack created under their wing, so to speak.
Or it's like Facebook owns it now. They've got lots of money. They'll probably give us some of that to make this go away.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I think that's just it's a money game. It's a money game, and you know, everyone's trying to take credit for VR and stuff. But it'll be interesting to see what their evidence is. I don't know if it's just going to be an exchange of emails that are vague and can be skewed one way or another, or is it going to be something more hard-coded than that? I don't know.
It's just like one email from Carmack. It's like, I think this VR thing could really take off.
That's it.
I don't know.
He clearly from day one has been manipulating our
something really
infrastructure.
Really mundane like that. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
All right.
So good luck to, I don't know, whoever should win.
Whoever's the
rightful owner.
Rightful owner of VR.
It's like Game of Thrones, right?
Yep.
Like, who's the rightful king? Who knows? Everyone watches the same show but has their own opinion on who should be the rightful heir to the throne of the Seven Kingdoms. It's kind of like VR. Who owns VR? Who made it happen? Was it Zenimax? Was it Oculus? Was it HTC? Who, you know, it's just, let's hope the judge isn't a fucktard and he knows what he's doing.
It's going to be Daenerys and Jon Snow's son.
But just spoilers!
Sorry, you asked a question, I answered it.
Good Lord, Paul.
Okay.
Oh, did you hear that?
Yes.
That's the rat.
It's still there?
We have rats in our attic. I don't know if you guys could hear with the shotgun mic. It's not really pointed at the ceiling, but we have rats in our attic that have been there for months now, and there's a very good reason why we haven't called someone in to fix it or been as aggressive with it, but that's a topic for another video. Anyway, hopefully it doesn't distract from the actual stream that we're doing here.
Or the rat army that they've been raising in their attacks.
Breaks through the ceiling, claws our faces out, and proceeds to carry on the show better than we can.
Not worried about that at all.
Let me teach you how to run a live stream. The rats just start smoking cigarettes and start just streaming. All right, now we're going to talk about
that we could sell to people though. That would be
ASUS and the 4K monitors here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
people would watch that.
Getting on topic here, ASUS has announced a 4K monitor that's HDR10 supportive.
Yay.
With 144 hertz refresh rate with G-Sync. So remember when like the Predator X34 came out and was like, it's got everything that we want. It's you know, ultra wide, it's 21:9, it's got G-Sync, it's IPS, and it's got a pretty decent refresh rate attached to it. This is kind of like the new wave of that. Now we're talking about 4K resolution, which has way more pixels than something like 3440 by 1440 back here, but it's also got a refresh rate that exceeds 100 hertz, even 60 hertz with a DisplayPort 1.4 connection. 144 hertz of a refresh rate at this resolution is absolutely mad with HDR and G-Sync all built in. This is the ROG Swift PG27UQ. Gotta love their marketing model names. The launch is TBD. We don't know exactly when it's going to launch. I would guess Q3, maybe Q4, with an estimated MSRP of $1,500 to $2,000. That is... The pricing of monitors is just getting ludicrous these days.
Very expensive.
They are so crazy. But at the same time, where else are you going to find a monitor with all these different features, Paul? I don't know. It's hard to say.
One of the things I really like about this monitor, we got a fairly brief chance to take a look at it at CES. You were there.
Maybe.
Yeah, you were there.
I don't remember this.
What?
Where was this monitor?
It's to the right. You saw it. They were right next to each other. They had the old version and the new version. The 4K monitors. When you walked in
the bright room?
And the room where we did all the videos.
I did the videos in 2 rooms.
Okay, there's the room to the left.
Yeah.
Not that room.
Okay.
The main room. On the far right wall, there was a bunch of motherboards.
Yeah.
To the right of that, like On this wall, there was just 2 monitors side by side. One of them
I didn't
was this
see
one.
that.
Really?
I didn't see that monitor.
Oh, that was one of the things they were talking about. Anyway.
Huh.
They had it there side by side with their last generation monitor.
They didn't tell me about it.
Which is also 4K. I think the last generation one is 4K, 120 hertz or something, but it's still very nice. The HDR on this one is like very, very distinct when you watched them side by side with the demos that they were playing. But actually, one of the features about this monitor that I really like is it's not... Okay, so it's not OLED, and we keep being like, give us a freaking good, like, 30-inch OLED 4K monitor.
It is quantum dot, though, right?
It's not. It's quantum dot and AHVA IPS.
Yeah.
A 4K panel. But it has 384 zones for the LED backlight. Which means it has
better contrast.
It has zone LED backlighting, which means, I mean, if you can take a standard 16:9 display and divide it into 384 zones, that's a lot of different zones that it can locally dim depending on what it's displaying. So it gives you much better contrast ratio. So some of the earlier stuff I've read about this monitor is that it's right on par with the contrast ratio and the really dark like blacks that you get with OLED. So that's cool.
That's one shortcoming I see with this monitor is that the contrast isn't the best.
Yes.
So there's that. Yes, so with HDR, of course, you're going to need a GeForce, I guess, a 10 series card that has a DisplayPort 1.4 connection leading out to it to take advantage of that, as well as 4K at 144 hertz. Anything less than that probably won't get you the same performance. And I guess this brings up a good issue of, I guess this could have been a sword fight if there was another sword fight, is 4K 144 hertz panel, is that even worth it these days? Because you can't, I mean, like, what kind of graphics configuration do you really have to have in order for that to even be saturated? Because at 4K, a GTX 1080 right now can barely even push 60 FPS on average with modern AAA titles. You would need a Titan X or presumably a 1080 Ti to even get 60 FPS. So the fact that you're going 144 hertz or 144 FPS at 4K, I mean, you would need even 2 GTX 1080 Ti's, assuming that they're a real thing, I feel like would probably only get you 70, 80 FPS on average. So this is definitely going to be a monitor that I feel like is produced in limited quantities for a very niche market that I don't know if we're ready for yet. I don't know if it's worth spending $1,500 on a monitor, on a panel like this, if you don't even have the hardware to back it up or really saturate all it has to offer. It's kind of a controversial product.
I think the games that you're looking for high frame rates in,
like Overwatch,
if you exclude something like a Battlefield, like Battlefield 1, or,
that's what we're all into.
You're right. But there's only a few really high end AAA titles that you really need like crazy high end hardware in order to push like 144 hertz or something like that.
Need versus want.
You're right, need versus want, but it's about the monitor being able to support that when it's available. So like next year or 2 years from now, when I upgrade my graphics card, the monitor can still support that high refresh rate. Or if you're looking at right now, yes, games like Overwatch or CS:GO or something like that, games that, you know, they're not really graphically intensive. You can still play them at 4K resolution.
Buying a $2,000 monitor for CS:GO. I'm wincing at the thought.
Or maybe you're not buying it just for CS:GO. Maybe you're buying it so you can play a really nice, good-looking game at 80 to 100 frames per second with G-Sync, which you're going to enjoy. And you also like playing a fast-paced Twitch shooter game or something like that you can benefit from a really high refresh rate with and really high frame rate with, like CS:GO or Overwatch or something like that.
I think with the next generation.
But yeah, I'm trying to make excuses for a rich person spending $1,500 to $2,000 on a monitor like this.
Don't support the rich people, Paul.
But
they are not humans.
But these monitors need to exist and be sold in order for this technology to be available for a wider range of people. This is how it happens. They come out with something like this, and it costs $2,000, and then 2 years later you can buy it for $350 or $500 or something like that.
But then by then there's going to be another panel that comes out that has all those same features, but has like, you know, a better HDR spec or something, and so you're not going to even like want to, you know, have your own. Like, this is going to be shit in 2 years, But it's like, at the same time, well, if I buy it now, like, it'll take 2 years for me to even have GPU horsepower to even push those, to push the spec, really. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's the burden of being an early adopter, so to speak. But I don't know. I think it's
true.
I think it's it's a pretty crazy piece of equipment there. And I would like one. I wish I could.
I wouldn't mind gaming on one.
I wish I could game on one. I wish I had the like even Hotline would struggle with that right now. 2 GTX 1080 or 980 Ti's in SLI. That would probably. There's no point. I'd much rather go for an ultra-wide solution. But anyway, I'm digressing. So let's go on to our next story, which is from TechSpot. This is from Stephen Walton, was the author of this article on TechSpot, which is about the Q6600. And I feel like, Paul, you probably would be able to shed some light on this because you probably owned a Q6600 at some point, one point or another.
Not directly,
but you are at least a little bit more familiar with it than I am, because I came into the PC game slightly shortly after this was introduced. Actually, a couple of years after it was in circulation. This is over 10 years old. The CPU is over 10 years old, and it was one of Intel's first quad-core desktop CPUs. It became one of the most popular enthusiast-grade chips from Intel at the time, with a $530 MSRP, which back then was a little bit more than what it is now, with a frequency of 2.4 gigahertz that was locked on the Kensfield architecture. It was locked, however, you could still overclock it back then using the front-side bus, achieving over 3 gigahertz. And overall, it was just a very, very popular, iconic chip that Stephen Walton at TechSpot decided to test with modern-day games here in 2017 to see if it could still cut the mustard, so to speak, in 2017. And
I see.
The short answer is no.
No.
The short answer is no. It gets crushed in pretty much every title that's tested, whether it be Gears of War 4 or Overwatch, Battlefield 1. Pretty much unplayable frame rates across the board, and this was tested with both a GTX 1060 and a 1070. But it was tested across a bunch of other gaming chips as well, or just processors in general, such as the Core i3-6100. There was a Haswell dual-core Pentium that was thrown in the mix, as well as a 6700K and a 2500K Sandy Bridge Core i5. So there was a nice range of different CPUs across multiple generations of Intel Core processors that was tested against the Q6600 with those two GPU specs, the GTX 1060 and 1070.
It even tanks in Overwatch.
It tanks even in Overwatch, yeah. So pretty much, long and short of it is the Q6600 cannot game any longer in 2017. Even though it's a quad-core chip, it still just does not have the architecture refinement behind it. It doesn't have the same clock speed in play. And what I thought was interesting as a side note was that looking at the other CPUs that they were testing here, particularly the 2500K, which is the Sandy Bridge Core i5, was not really far behind the 6700K when they were using the GTX 1060. So if you have a GTX 1060, a Core i5 2500K from 4 or 5 years ago is not going to be bottlenecking you quite that much. But as soon as you upgrade to something like the 1070, as seen in these tests, that's when you start to really see the 6700K pull away from that Core i5 Sandy Bridge chip, and really be able to take advantage of the extra rendering power that is that comes with the 1070, for example, which I thought was pretty interesting. So you can read the article yourself for the rest of the results there. I don't want to go over all of them because that would probably take too long for what the show has. But I thought it was a very interesting kind of a revisitation of the Q6600. Like I said, I never owned one of those personally, but I'm always curious about older hardware before my time, before I got introduced to PC hardware and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you never owned one back in the day?
I do have one. I never owned one at the time. I never owned an overclocked one when they were a good CPU to own an overclock. I will say, I believe on like Scrapyard Wars, Linus's thing. It's one that they've come back to quite a few times because it did have so much potential, being one of the earlier quad cores and everything. But man, look how far back that is.
10 years.
That came out in
2006.
2006, 2007.
Yeah.
Look how long Intel's been making quad cores, and yet they still can't make like a 6-core Kaby Lake or something like that, right?
Well, they haven't really had much pressure.
That's true.
From the other side. So hopefully that changes with Ryzen.
But yeah,
I'm hoping.
It is. I mean, that's a good test to be able to look at, though, because, I mean, you constantly get questions about, like, oh, what about this 2-year-old or 3-year-old or 4-year-old hardware that I was able to find somewhere for really cheap or something like that? Mm-hmm. Is that still going to perform?
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, I'd say based on this report, at least, you could say, well, the Q6600 is past its prime, and even if you found it dirt cheap, probably wouldn't be worth putting together a system with.
Yeah.
Sandy Bridge looks like is kind of on the cusp, you know, still can pull its weight, but probably getting more towards being down the obsolete path. But I mean,
depending on which GPU you have, if you have a mid-range card, like you're still in good shape. You're probably only seeing like a 5 or 6 FPS difference from like a 6700K. Unless you're talking like a super CPU intensive game like GTA 5 or something. But for the most part, Heather, my wife, she games on a 2600K, which granted has hyperthreading and stuff, but that's paired with a GTX 970, and she just screams through frame rates at 1080p, no problem. Pretty much any game, even GTA 5, over 60 FPS, you know, mix of like high to very high settings. So it's still a very relevant CPU, but as soon as you start to go into the high-end graphics, where you actually have a lot more rendering power at your disposal, then that's when the CPU starts to bottleneck a little bit, even for a 2600K. If I were to throw in a GTX 1070 or 1080 in there, then we'd probably start to see a much larger variance between that and something like, you know, like Hotline back there. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting test. I guess we can go ahead and carry on with our next story here, which is about the first ever 3.5-inch Kaby Lake SBC, which is a single board computer.
Hey.
This is in reference to Axiom Tech's 3.5-inch Kappa 500, CAPA 500 SBC, supporting 6th and 7th gen Intel Core CPUs. I felt like this was very similar to like the Raspberry Pi article that you were talking about earlier in your half of the show, Paul.
Yeah.
Where we've got this miniature board that's really being used for like the Internet of Things type of applications, industrial control, digital signage, retail, kiosk and displays, things of that nature that are relatively low powered.
SO DIMM slot there, is that really just kind of hover
right over the
socket?
Yeah, okay. Apparently on the backside, that's a single SO DIMM slot, 260 pin DDR4, supports up to 16 gigs.
This is mSATA.
That is mSATA, of course. So you got an mSATA connector there, or an mSATA slot. You could drop in an SSD, or there's also a single SATA 3 port as well.
Where's that? Oh, here it is.
The board also offers PCIe by 1 slots as an extension if you wanted to use Axiom Tech's, what is it called? Their ZIO expansion connector. It integrates either PCIe by 1, I should say, USB, LPC, or SM bus.
Is that what this is?
Expansion buses.
Black plug right here?
Potentially.
It's either that.
That could be it.
Or maybe one of these, but I feel like that black plug looks more
foreign,
more likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could throw in a PCIe by 1 card if you wanted to, or a device, and it's also got assumed to be Linux and Windows supported. It's very tiny, 146 by 104 millimeters in dimension. It's also rocking the Intel H110 chipset. It says Q170 is optional, so I guess you could choose either
right.
or.
ZIO connector, PCIe by 1.
There it is. That's the black connector. Very good, Paul.
I'm smart.
You are the smart. You're the smart. You have the brain power.
Thank you.
It's also got dual gigabit Ethernet, which is nice to see. There's no pricing here. I would imagine it's probably not more than like $40-50. That is optional, apparently. That little blower-style fan that goes on top of your Kaby Lake CPU.
Okay.
It's, obviously LGA 1151 supported, but it can support 7th or 6th gen core processors from Intel. Runs on 12V DC power. Supports auto power-on functionality. It's also got triple displays via HDMI, VGA, and LVDS interfaces, 3 USB 3 and 3 USB 2.0 ports, and I don't know. This is one of those other things that I wish, like, if I had extra time on my hands, I would totally be a tinkerer. I would tinker with this and find fun things to do and make videos on, but high CPU usage detected.
It's been doing that the whole time.
Okay. Fucking
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
But yeah,
it's the Tweaktown tab.
But cool little board here. For all of you Internet of Things enthusiasts that would like to.
It's socketed, so I mean.
Socketed. It's LGA.
What chipset?
Which is pretty cool.
It's H110.
H110.
Okay.
It says Q170 is optional. Neither of those, of course, you could really unlock the multiplier or anything like that. But it's not really for an enthusiast grade scenario. It's more just for, M2M. What's M2M?
What?
It says it's designed for Internet of Things or M2M.
Internet of Things.
M2M is what? I forget what M2M is.
I know what M2M is. Wait.
Module. No.
Business to business.
That's none of your business.
Hold on.
Stop messing around, pal.
M2M.
Mail to mail? Oh, come on. Mail to mail? That sounds wrong. Mini to nano.
M2M was a Norwegian pop music duo.
Oh, obviously. M2M. Yes, the Norwegian pop duo is integrated and fully supported.
Marie Larson and Marianne Raven.
Man to man, machine to machine, mail to mail.
They were active from 1998 to 2002.
It might be mail to mail docking.
What? Machine to machine. That's what it stands for.
Really?
Yeah, if it's grouped with Internet of Things, machine to machine.
Okay, machine to machine.
Okay.
Every day I'm learning. So
Oh look, see, Twitch was on top of that, but they were just slightly late.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on Twitch. No, they had it in there before you said it.
Thank you, Twitch.
I read that before you said it.
Thank you, guys.
Look at this. Okay,
it's an important term.
It's an important term.
Obviously.
Oh God. It probably is. That's the sad thing. Is it probably is a porn term. We don't even know it. All right, let's move on to our next story. On that note,
like DADO. So you get paid the most for in porn.
Double action, double orgasm.
No. You're right about the double.
Double ass.
No, I mean, there's a more scientific.
Double anal.
Yes.
Double anal, double orifice. The hell's the O?
Oral.
Oh, double anal, double. Yeah, I've seen some of those. Moving on to our next story. EK announcing modular liquid cooling. Whoa, they had something up on their website that was going off of... They basically said that they're going off of customer feedback that they've received from their Predator line. And so now they have their new EK MLC, or modular liquid cooling lineup.
What's this picture of?
It's nothing. It's a picture of nothing.
There's nothing. This stupidest...
It's a picture of nothing. It's the stupidest picture I've ever seen. It's bad advertising.
Why is it here? What does it do? Why? No.
No, there's nothing there. I've tried. I've looked at it for extensively for 10 minutes, and it's like I cannot see anything. They're just fucking with you. There's really nothing there. It's just a bunch of lines in the darkness. Then everything else you're seeing right now is just your brain. It's all in your brain.
Obviously, there's a light source that's reflecting off of these. Are they radiators?
No.
Okay. All right.
So
that's all that's here. There's no other pictures.
No, this is just a teaser.
To look at this picture.
Teaser announcement. Okay.
Everyone explain to us in chat what the hell this picture is.
Teaser announcement of their modular liquid cooling lineup. It brings the Okay, so you remember with the cool thing about what was the coolest thing about the Predator 240? What was the cool thing that they did with the radiator and how it was situated and what was different about it than a regular AIO?
it was like way bigger than most, and so you couldn't fit it in a lot of cases.
Yeah, that's kind of a con, but building on that, okay. Paul, was it had a built-in integrated pump on the radiator itself.
Oh yeah, that was convenient.
Which was pretty cool.
That was nice.
And what they're doing now with the MLC version that they have yet to really reveal is that they're going to be selling that radiator with pump integrated as a standalone unit.
What did you...
As a modular standalone. What are you laughing at? Stop it! Stop it right now! What? Why are you laughing?
I've seen so many people
reading chat.
So many people in chat
talking about
saying like clickbait bullshit, clickbait, and I keep being like, what are they talking about? And then I realized, why did you put Half-Life 3?
Because I'm talking about Half-Life 3 at the end.
We are?
Yes, that's one of the stories.
Okay, all right, fine. All right.
Wait, why are people saying? Guys, you have to wait for the video to be over before you can call it clickbait. You can't just watch the first, half of it and be like, well, they didn't talk about what was in the title.
So many people came here for Half-Life, and that's all they're here for.
So
you can't just throw that out there with no reference to it, though. I mean, people...
Well, okay, I'll preface all the videos now.
People have been waiting so long.
Do I really need to preface our videos like, hey, by the way, the things that are in the title, we're talking about that.
Okay.
Now you know.
That's good.
Don't go anywhere. Goddamn triggered motherfuckers. Okay. All right. So anyway.
Back to EK.
Back to EK. These are modular units that you'll be able to buy, radiators with the integrated pump, and you'll be able to buy that completely separate. That's already pre-filled with whatever liquid that EK plans to put on there. And you can attach that to a CPU water block, a GPU water block, multiple GPU water blocks, or both. You could do CPU and GPU, or you could just do a single loop for your GPU, which up until this point you've not been able to do with EK, their Predator lineup. You would have to have a CPU included in that loop if you wanted to add the GPU. For the most part.
I'm going to take issue with what you said there, Kyle.
Wait, is that not true?
Well, you could theoretically have bought the CPU unit, disconnected the CPU part from it entirely, and connected up the GPU, and still gotten that.
I guess that might be true. True.
But only, I mean, if we're talking about the strictly speaking.
I guess it's more of a way of how it's being marketed. As opposed to buying a 240 or 280 liquid AIO.
This is how it's being marketed.
It's being marketed in the dark.
This is mysterious. Is it Tron? Are they trying to go something like Tron?
I don't know. I feel like they didn't have much budget reserved for a graphic designer, and they were just like, hey, just take a picture in really low lighting and put some yellow lines in it, and that'll be our promo
These
teaser.
Lines, there's a termination point down here. Obviously,
those have to be like radiators, right? I would think they're radiators.
There's 5 horizontal lines with accents. EC136, very, very, very reminiscent of a Floyd of
Pink Floyd,
Dark Side of the Moon. I think,
yeah,
is what
I
we're
can see
getting
that.
Here. Without the rainbow with the prism.
Sort
effect,
of a prism, yeah.
I think. But there are 3 yellow lines.
Interesting how it turns to red though in the middle. Like the line turns to red.
No, ignore that. They're doing that to confuse you.
Oh.
3 yellow lines.
Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3.
Confirmed.
All right.
Let's move on to that.
What a perfect transition.
What a perfect transition. Let's talk about Half-Life 3. We'll skip the Seagate shit.
We'll skip the
Seagate.
Really?
Yeah. All right. Seagate's going downhill.
Because this was a story that I had in my half and you stole again.
Really?
Yeah. It's okay.
I didn't even see it.
I saw you and I was like, I don't need it. So
yeah, you took all the good stories anyway. Seagate, really quick.
Because where were you at this morning when I made the show doc? I was supposed to jump in there and be competing.
I was doing work, yo. I was hitting it hard.
You were. You did.
Throwing out very vague expressions that don't really mean anything. So Seagate, they shut down one of their biggest production facilities in Suzhou, China. That's the only way I can pronounce it correctly. Suzhou. It's going to reduce their hard drive output by a lot. They're going to lay off 220 employees.
2,000.
The last of which will be let go on January 18th, 2017.
20 or 2000?
Which is tomorrow. 2,200.
2,200 employees.
2,200. That's what I said. 2,200 employees will be let go by tomorrow. Tomorrow is just 2,000 people out of a job.
It's actually already tomorrow there right now.
It's already tomorrow. They're all...
So right now.
Everyone, like, there's like 2,000 people...
2,200 people.
Who used to work at Seagate who are crying right now. It really sucks. 1.1 million square feet was the size of this facility that Seagate just shut down. They said, we regret that our Suzhou employees will be affected by this action, which reflects our ongoing commitment to reduce Seagate's global manufacturing footprint and better align the business with current and expected demand trends. What they mean by that, perhaps, is that
SSDs are about to destroy them.
SSDs are about to destroy them, and also the number of overall hard drive units shipped per quarter has decreased over recent years, but the capacity of those hard drives has increased with, like, you know, thanks to like helium-filled technology and things like that.
Yeah.
So even though Seagate is basically canning one of their plants that produces a lot of hard drives, they're still producing just as many like heads and platters, because more heads and platters are going into these hard drives, even though they're producing fewer of them. If that makes sense. So there's no clue as to what Seagate plans to do with the Suzhou facility and all the equipment inside of them, inside of that building, because there's too much equipment for them to possibly transfer to their other facilities. One of which is in Wuxi. I don't know how to pronounce that. Wuxi, China, and the other one is in Korat, Thailand. So there's two other facilities that Seagate owns, but they're not quite big enough. They're not quite as big as this one in Suzhou, China. So they don't, like, what the hell are they going to do with all this equipment that they have there? We don't know. We don't know right now what they're planning on doing with all this extra stuff that they have. But it looks like they will be scaling back significantly on hard drive production per quarter. But we don't know. So we really don't know.
This will reduce the overall number of drives that are produced per year, since this is a major facility that's shutting down, which might affect the overall price of hard drives, since scarcity does affect economics and it can drive prices back up. But of course that will greatly depend on the competing prices of stuff like alternative storage, like SSDs and that kind of thing. I was reading in an article about this, that there is a potential that they might be re-kitting this factory to produce SSDs, which I think would make sense. And hopefully if that is the case, then maybe they would hire some of those employees back. I saw in your notes that they fired something like 8,000 employees in 2016.
Yeah, they fired 8,000 employees in 2016. They also reduced their output from 60 million drives per quarter to 40 million drives per quarter, which is quite a big
it's a pretty significant reduction. So
yeah.
Anyway, all this I think is very much just a result of the increase in capacity, performance, speed, and ease of production of SSDs, which will eventually completely replace hard drives.
Yeah.
Although they do still have a place in the market, we're seeing that steadily decline, and that's what happened. This is what happens.
I think the affordability of SSDs is catching up with the increasing capacity of hard drives. Even though
we're also seeing SSD capacity in some situations
go up to 2 terabytes,
outstrip
4 terabytes.
The pace of hard drive capacity increases. I mean, they're talking about like, oh, we're now getting to 10 terabytes, and maybe we'll have 12 and 16 terabytes soon.
It's like no one really needs that
SSDs
much.
are jumping from 1 terabyte to 2 terabyte to 10 to 20 to 40.
Yeah.
Like in a very short period of time, just because it's like, well, you have a controller that can address this much NAND and just stack more NAND in there, and then you have more capacity.
Yep.
Whereas with hard drives, you have to increase the areal density of the platters. They spin around. You have to start doing things like introducing helium. Helium-filled drives to reduce turbulence and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just something that's sort of has hit its limit when it comes, especially when you're comparing it to competing storage technology.
Yeah. Okay. Eventually, it's not even going to be able to compete on a price level if they're dealing with helium technology and whatever that costs. And as NAND becomes more and more prevalent and just accessible, that's also going to drive the price of NAND flash down. And eventually it's going to intersect where there's no use for hard drives anymore. So, tough luck, Seagate. Best of luck to you, but it's not looking so hot. Hopefully you can make some bomb-ass SSDs and regain your strength, regain all your powers. I like SSDs.
Yeah, they had some really good ones. They had the 600 series I really liked, and then they just stopped.
That was the last SSD I ever saw from them. That was like years ago.
I don't know why they did that. Anyway,
WD needs to get on that too.
All right, time for
Pimp My PC. Pimp My PC. This is where you guys tweet pictures of your systems to me, and Paul and I take a look at them and tell you what's wrong with them. We try to give you some advice, some helpful advice, constructive criticism on how to better maintain or optimize your system to make it look nice.
What is this? Is this an old... Did we not talk about this?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
Do you want to...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care.
We need to talk about this.
We do?
We do. Because otherwise it will be clickbait. Somehow I completely... This is the thing. This is the article that... Yeah, this is everything that's been hinged on this episode. Okay. Half-Life 3 may or may not be confirmed. Go ahead, Paul. This was an article that was just released from PC Gamer perhaps half an hour or maybe an hour before this show actually started. I happened to be on Twitter right before we went live, and I was like, ooh, hey, this is an article from Tyler Wilde, who just posted this, and it's very interesting, actually. It's about Gabe Newell, our Lord and Savior, who happened to do a Reddit AMA today, actually, about a number of different topics on what Valve is up to. And apparently, according to the AMA, Gabe Newell has confirmed that Valve is developing new games. That is very exciting to all of us. In response to questions about Half-Life 3 specifically, Mr. Newell has said that, well, he joked first off, saying that the number 3 must not be mentioned or must not be said, which is ha ha ha! Ah, Mr. Newell, you're a funny guy. I'm gonna laugh at all your jokes because you are God to me. But he did confirm that Valve has at least one fully fledged single-player game in the works. He did not confirm whether that was Half-Life 3 or not, or if it was another Portal game, but he did say that Valve was open, and has been open for quite some time now, to revisiting the Half-Life and or Portal universe with one of its single-player games. So this could potentially be another Portal game that we're looking at, or it could be another Half-Life-based game. We do not know at this time, and he left it pretty vague other than that. He said that the games that they're currently working on are going to be developed with the Source 2 engine, which is what they've been using for a while now. Games like Team Fortress 2 and CSGO, those may also be shifted or moved over to Source 2 in the near future. We'll have to wait and see about that. He also confirmed nothing about a possible Left 4 Dead 3 game, which would be freaking awesome. I love Left 4 Dead 2. Even Left 4 Dead 1, they're both great games, but there was no confirmation whether or not a Left 4 Dead 3 would be in the works. But he did say the franchise is a good place for creating shared narratives, and there have also been rumored leaks in the past that have pointed to a possible Left 4 Dead 3 game. As far as VR goes, there was a little bit that he touched on with that. New games are imminent in the VR realm. Probably for the HTC Vive, since Steam or Valve is a big backer of that, as well as a Knuckles controller. The Knuckles controller, which we've seen leaks to in the past, it kind of looks like, you know, just, I don't know, it just looks like this weird strap thing. You've got these like little thumb pad thingies. Those are all coming. That's all imminent. That's all coming pretty soon to a PC near you. And where'd you get Goldfish from?
Your wife.
Oh God, that fucking traitor.
She said hurry up.
Is she getting hungry?
What?
She's probably getting hungry.
She asked if we're running late, and I said, well, my half finished on time.
I started the show at 7 o'clock. That was when my starting time was. It's 7:42. We have 18 minutes left before my half of the show is up, and I think that's very fair.
We're almost done with the second segment of 4.
You know what? Shut up. We can skip Q&A. That's fine.
All right.
All right. So Half-Life 3 confirmed. We don't know.
Wait, so Half-Life 3 is confirmed?
It's not confirmed, but Gabe Newell says that Valve is open to re-exploring the Half-Life universe with a future single-player game that they are currently working on.
Because I had heard it was dead.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, I mean, we've heard lots of things about Half-Life 3. It's dead, it's coming back, it's here, it doesn't exist, it's never going to happen, it's definitely happening. Gabe Newell himself has confirmed that Valve is open to exploring the Half-Life universe and the Portal universe with a potential single-player game. And they are working on a single-player game, a fully-fledged single-player game right now. It's in development.
Just don't fuck with my emotions, Kyle.
I am fucking with them.
You don't take
your emotions.
Don't take your damn clickbait title and come in here and just play with people's emotions when it comes to Half-Life 3, okay?
You shut the F up. No one can say that I've clickbaited this show right now because I just talked about Half-Life 3 potentially being confirmed.
Things were discussed.
I didn't say it was going to be confirmed in the title. I did question mark, exclamation mark.
Maybe, who knows?
Ooh, Half-Life 3? Half-Life 3?
Because if anything,
which we clearly addressed Half-Life 3.
Because if there's any reason to use the word confirmed, it's when something is still up in the air.
I did not use confirmed in the title.
Oh, you didn't? It was just Half-Life 3 question mark?
It was just Half-Life 3 question mark.
All right.
So I'm safe.
Okay, all right,
I did not confirm anything.
No, you did things right.
Yeah.
Did it right.
That's how I roll.
No one's upset.
All right, let's move on to Pimp My PC. Let's talk about the stuff that you've sent in here. Robert, with a 6700K and H100i V2 from Corsair, ASUS GTX 1070, dual EVGA Z170 for the win, 120. Blah, 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 blah. Define R5, white edition. Yes. I like the color scheme here. I really do, Robert. I even like the power supply sticker. It matches. The power supply sticker looks fantastic with the rest of your system, which is quite a rare sight, I will say.
Well, Corsair apparently has been listening to us or other people who complained at all of the new Corsair stuff that they've come out with. Like you see their new Builder series, their new CX series.
Oh yeah, it's all black and white.
They're replacing with HX, and it's all black and white.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all because of us, Paul.
Apparently, Corsair has been listening to some degree to what people have complained about their power supplies, and tried to fix them and make them more appealing to people to buy.
Indeed.
Okay.
I agree. They're on point with that. So I think that this is a pretty well done system. There's really not much to do here, to be honest, other than maybe getting some sleeved cables, whether they be black or white. I think either could do well. Maybe even black and white sleeved cables.
Yeah.
If you got a mixture of those. And if you wanted to spruce it up a bit, maybe get some white RAM modules in there. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with the Fury that you have in there from Kingston, or HyperX, I should say.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I feel like if I'm going with a white build, usually I like to use white modules. I think they stand out against the black PCB of the motherboard usually that you're rocking.
That look good.
And they kind of match with your video card as well, kind of even things out. But other than that, you've got a really solid system here. I even like how the fans are, even though they're the stock fractal fans that came in there, they do have white blades. I think that's also really nice.
If there's anything in the system I'd upgrade, it'd be the SSD. Just 120 gigs. You're probably suffering a little bit from lack of space there. From a practical perspective, but beyond that, aesthetically, I 100% agree with Kyle. I think the only thing that the system's really asking for is a sleeved set of cables, like cable replacements for that 850X. There's quite a few different places that do that. It's going to cost you $80 to $120 depending on which ones you get and the quality and everything, but getting some nice paracord sleeved cables, I think, would be would top this off nicely. Everything else blends perfectly, though.
Yeah. Very nice. Thank you very much, Robert. Next
Robert.
off, we've got LG washing machine.
Beautiful. I like that name.
That's fun. I saw many of those at CES.
Oh, an X79 system.
X79. You got a UP4 motherboard from Gigabyte, a Xeon E5 processor. That's a 2670. An MSI GTX 1080, 16 gigs of RAM, HyperX RAMs, and a Cosmos SE. I have not seen one of those cases in a while. Geez, it looks like everything's pretty nicely like color coordinated here. I would say the power supply is probably the biggest like moment where like I don't know I don't know that.
Why is Linus's face up here?
What? Linus's face?
Oh, because he has.
Oh boy, he's got and Jay. Jay's up there too. He's got Linus and Jay. That's a little creepy.
All right.
That's a little creepy. I mean,
we won't judge.
I'm not gonna say I'm like jealous that I'm not.
So it's like, why
anything.
is Linus creeping on our video right now? But
I would say first off, clean out your system.
Yeah, you definitely have some dust accumulation.
Caked on everything.
Your Thermaltake power supply is what stands out the most as far as just aesthetically not blending in, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah. X79 UP4 with an E5 2670.
Get an AIO on there, perhaps.
No, I disagree.
You've got the radiator space for it.
It's a Xeon.
Oh, you can't really overclock it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Your cooler's probably just fine there.
But it would look so much better. No, actually, you know what? Get one of those Cooler Master. The one that looks like it's got red. It's like the latest one. It's got like a kind of glass looking panel on the front. It looks like a car engine type of thing.
Oh, the Cooler Master cooler? The
yeah.
CPU cooler?
Yeah, the CPU cooler. It's an air cooler.
The Master cooler.
Yes, the Cooler Master cooler.
Just add master to whatever part, and then that's the Cooler Master.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? It looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's like translucent and.
I mean, it's not like their $140 one or whatever, right? I still have that. I haven't done anything with it.
Cooler red LED. No, that's not it.
The V8.
It's not the V8. What the hell? The one Jade did a video on it.
Yeah, they sent me one.
They sent you one too?
I never did anything with it.
It's not the V.
It's completely impractical. It's like, why would you spend way more money on an air cooler than you do on the liquid cooler?
I don't even know what it was called. I can't find it.
The Master Air. Try Master Cooler Master Air.
Master Air. Ah, this one.
Yeah, that one.
This is the one. Cooler
Master Air Maker 8.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Good.
Master Air.
See, that would go good in a system like this, where if you're trying to spruce it up, you want a little bit of like red LED accents in there, but you don't want to go too crazy. But at the same time, do you really need something of this cooling capacity for a Xeon processor?
I'd much rather tell this person sell
platform.
everything in this image for as much cash as you can get for it.
Just buy a new PC.
And just buy new stuff, because that's really... I mean, a build like this, that's what it comes down to, is like...
Everything's pretty dated.
Swap out the power supply, but yeah, everything's
Even
kind of outdated.
case.
It's X79. It's the Cosmos SE. You could reuse the case. Cosmos SE. I mean, it's a statement case. It's huge.
It is massive.
So there's a lot of room to work with and stuff like that. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to do aesthetically with this beyond upgrading. I think any aesthetic improvements you make would be silly compared to the benefits you get by just upgrading the base platform. Okay.
True. All right, let's move on to Benjamin. Benjamin's got a work-in-progress college build with an i7 3930K at 4.4 gigahertz, 16 gigs of 1866 megahertz RAM, DX79SI, and Gigabyte GTX 980 Ti.
Hey.
So the first thing I noticed about this system is that you have varying RAM modules here. You've got like some black or blue modules on the left, and you've got some red modules on the right. I would say get rid of the red modules. Those look like G-Skill DIMMs. And just get something that matches the left side. I would say just get all DIMMs that look the same, because they would look better and more cohesive with your color scheme.
They don't look like they're in matched channels. Well, no, it's a quad channel. It's a quad channel, so it wouldn't matter. Okay, never mind. It does look like one of...
No, just one of the latches are undone, but I mean...
Oh, but I think that's for a module that's not installed.
Yeah, that's just empty.
All right.
But I would say it's really weird that you just have like two red modules on the right. Aesthetically speaking, perfectly functional, sure. But if this is Pimp My PC, then I would say swap that out for some. I would say just swap out your whole DIMM configuration for a nicer quad channel kit with maybe at least 4 modules in there that are either black or blue to match with the heat sinks on your motherboard there. And also, there's definitely a variety of fans going on here. You've got like 3 or 4 different types of model fans that I think you should just make consistent across the board. It looks like you've already got some nice Venturi fans on that H100 there. So I would just say get 3, 4... Yeah, get 4 more Venturi fans of that size and place them throughout your case. 2 more on the front of your radiator.
Where are the Venturi fans?
I think those are Venturis, aren't they?
I don't think they're Venturi fans.
Oh, they're not? I don't know.
They have rubberized corners, and I don't think those are rubberized corners.
Maybe you're right. For some reason, I thought that just the little 3
but
streaks.
But they are different models. They're LED fans in front and whatever else is behind it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So whatever fans those are, those look like the aftermarket ones that you bought separately. I'm a stickler about fans in a case. I like all my fans to look the same, pretty much, or at least from the same brand or the same lineup, whether it be static pressure or case fans, to have them all look more or less identical. And also, I also think that having similar fans on a radiator is good practice as well. But apart from that, you could tighten up the PCIe cables coming off your graphics card if you wanted to. Not necessarily with cable combs. Of course, that's one way to do it. But if you just wanted to take a quicker approach, you could maybe just get some Velcro straps and kind of sync them together. They kind of look like they're a little bit loose and frayed out a bit. But if you wanted to tighten them up a bit, I think that would look pretty nice. And what else? What else, Paul? Anything else? Anything else that you would say? I think everything else is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the cable management's pretty decent and everything. Yeah, you're just dealing with some base hardware that could match up a little bit better, but I mean if it's functional, if you have 4 gig sticks of memory and they're all running just fine, it's at 1866, then more power to you. It could be, I would say if you swapped them, maybe making them symmetrical, do the 2 reds on the outside and the 2 blues on the inside or something like that. Maybe that would look a little bit better. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Yeah,
pretty much.
Thanks, Benjamin.
Thanks, Benjamin. Next, we've got Clash Kingdom with his rig here. This is a Z170P from ASUS with a Core i7 6700K, 8 gigs of RAM. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like we're in a budget case. That's a
deep cool case.
Cool.
I don't know which one. Is it the Ducasse?
It looks like a pretty decent budget rig here, and actually your cable management in a case of this caliber looks pretty good.
This might be the Ducasse.
Ducasse, is that what it's called?
The Ducasse. No, it's not.
Ducasse.
It's a more budget case than that. The Ducasse has a PSU shroud. So I don't know what this is.
What's interesting is that you have a very high-end CPU and a very entry-level graphics card.
Yeah.
So I would say that there's a bit of imbalance there where if you can upgrade your graphics card, because right now your GPU is being bottlenecked. Like you have way more processing power on your CPU than you do your graphics card, and I feel like it's a bit of a mismatch. If you were to just upgrade that to maybe a 1060 or possibly a 1070, you would be really able to take full advantage of that processor, and it would be a bit more evenly matched. I feel like you're missing out on a lot of frames right now because of the mismatch of that hardware. 8 gigs of RAM is fine. You can upgrade to 16 later, but for most games, even AAA, 1080p, 8 gigs is fine. I don't really see an issue with that. Having just a hard drive, you've got an SSD in there as well. Yeah, you've got pretty much everything's good to go here except your graphics card. I feel like it's is it just me, Paul, or does it seem a little mismatched?
I agree. I mean, I feel like maybe if you use the CPU a lot more than you use the graphics card, then maybe your configuration makes sense. But yeah, I agree with Kyle that it's very CPU heavy right now, and upgrading the GPU greatly. You've got a lot of headroom with the CPU still. Aesthetically speaking, your power supply is a little bit on the budget side. I mean, you're dealing with some ketchup and mustard stuff and that kind of thing, so maybe updating that. It's a standard 80 plus EVGA model, which means that there's definitely some headroom for an upgraded power supply. You might even get some better efficiency and save a little bit money on your power bill. But going with a different unit with maybe some better, cleaner cabling would look a little bit better. I see you have your supplemental 8-pin or 4-pin going across the motherboard and up on this side of the CPU cooler, which really I don't like. I have no idea if you have room to route that through up here on the top left. Depending on the case configuration, you may or may not be able to do that. Even if you can bring it up here, up high, and bring it across the top, I think would be better than going across the motherboard the way you have it.
Yeah.
But those are just, those aren't really going to affect your performance or anything like that. But yeah, GPU upgrade would be good. And then lastly, you've got sort of a loose cable coming here from this fan at the rear exhaust, so that cleaning that up might also clean things up a little bit. But I don't think
your fan 90 degrees.
Yeah, I don't think the work on that would be worth it though, unless you actually upgraded your entire power supply as a whole, because that's again mainly aesthetically is what's holding you back.
Yeah, agreed.
Thank you though.
Thank you.
Next
Clash.
is Kevin Wade.
Kevin
has an FX 6350, an R7 260X, and 840 Evo boot SSD.
Oh god, that cooler!
8 gigs of DDR3.
Oh
4
my.
intake fans, one exhaust. What's wrong with that cooler, Kyle?
It's just hideous. It's just hideous, Paul.
Those coolers used to be the best coolers you could get, Kyle.
And now they are the ugliest coolers that you can get.
I believe that's a Zalman. I don't think it's
a Zalman.
It's not a CNPS 9900 because they did make those look a little bit better. They started nickel plating them, which looked a lot better than copper. But look, it's copper. It's very evidently just straight copper heatsink. You know how much you have to pay for that these days because they just replaced everything with aluminum because aluminum costs less money and is also less good at dissipating heat.
No, it doesn't
Look at
matter.
that glorious
it's still ugly as hell.
Copper orb heatsink.
You should never allow one of these in your system ever. If you know it's good for you, never put one of these in your rig.
It's probably
disgusting. It's probably corroded. It's probably got like algae growing on it. You're
being so harsh.
No.
It's probably doing a perfectly adequate job
excuse.
with an FX 6350. The reason these fell out of style is, yes, okay, you might look at that and be like, the copper finish or whatever is not good. Okay, alright, that's fine, that's acceptable. The main reason I ended up not liking them totally is that they usually have fixed fans. You probably, from what it looks like, have a blue
3
LED
pins.
fixed fan right here. And what that means is that if that fan starts to tank or not perform as well or something like that, or has a little hum or vibration or something like that, you really can't swap it out. And I think that's the ultimate downfall of these style of coolers. However, from a purely performance perspective, they are good coolers.
Are they really?
Yes.
Are they effective?
Yes.
Are they quiet as well?
Yes.
But they're so ugly.
The old Zalman Orb style coolers used to cost $90+ for the best ones.
God.
Until they got replaced. Until Cooler Master came out with the Hyper 212 and was like, "Hey, for $30, you can have exactly the same cooling," because they figured out that the tower style cooler with direct copper heat pipe contact.
So they work well, but they're a horrible value, comparatively speaking. Now.
The nicer ones, the custom ones, they got a little overpriced, yeah, because they were the best coolers at the time, so they started to get really expensive. But yeah.
So they just got overshadowed pretty quickly by Cooler Master
once
eventually.
the tower style version, like the Hyper 212, started to come out, and once they started doing direct copper heat pipe contacts, and once you started to say, well, those use a very standardized 120 millimeter fan, which you can find much cheaper and replace much more easily, then these started to fall out of vogue.
I'm surprised that Zalman didn't kind of respond to the Hyper 212 at all, because they were on such a kick with these coolers.
You're
and
right.
They
and now they're nowhere. Now they're nowhere in the CPU cooling space.
No.
I've seen this happen many times before in the computer hardware industry though, and it doesn't always make sense to me at all. Like look at we were talking about earlier about the transition from hard drives to SSDs, and like Western Digital, right? Western Digital, I don't know, from early on was always like just my favorite storage manufacturer company. A lot of it had to do with like the RMA system and stuff like that, and I thought they made good products. They've attempted to come out with some SSDs. They had one big push for an SSD line, but they were like, we think because we're Western Digital, we can charge $100 more for each SSD, and people will pay for it because we're Western Digital, and people are like, no. These have really mediocre performance compared to what I can buy for cheaper, and so they didn't take off.
Yeah.
That was the WD Blue Scorpio or whatever those were called.
Right.
I forget. But, yeah, like, who knows what's going to happen to WD and Seagate if they don't really pick up in the SSD space. Suddenly these long existing storage manufacturers who we've known for a very long time might just be completely replaced. But yeah.
It must be tough when you're that deeply ingrained in a certain kind of market, like hard drives, because you have to change everything if you're going from hard disks to solid state. You know, like your whole factory has to be re-envisioned and revamped. So it must be kind of difficult to switch over as opposed to just starting from scratch like a lot of these up-and-coming SSD manufacturers. So I could see how, like, and especially if you've been doing hard disks for so long, how it might be difficult to let go of that and start a whole new venture. But
yep,
I hope they don't go anywhere. I would like to see more competition in the SSD market, because that would mean better prices in general for the consumer and stuff. But we'll see. I mean, Seagate hasn't really been... doesn't seem like Seagate's doing very well right now, so we'll see how WD does in the future. But yes.
Anyway,
let's go ahead and move on to the next PC.
We didn't really give him advice. Kevin, you have cables all over the place. Clean them all up and reroute them.
Remove that cooler.
I think the cooler's fine.
No.
Don't bother upgrading the cooler until you upgrade your CPU. Once you upgrade your CPU, then you can upgrade your cooler. Right now, for an FX 6350, you're just fine.
It's not acceptable.
Thank you, Kevin.
Next up
is Imager.
Nicholas. Nicholas, we've got a pretty nice system here, actually.
Brigade 7. Looks like a Define RS.
I know. Some people are going to be like, turn your power supply upside down. But I think it's fine. I think you're good. It's a power supply. It's not a video card. You're fine. It's not competing with your video card for air. Pretty decent build overall. You've got a Define S case, which is very nice. Your cable management is on point, I would say. I would say the one thing that I would look out for here is that motherboard, which is completely brown of a PCB.
It's very brown.
It looks like it was dipped in sewage and taken out and dried promptly. But, you know, at the same time, I don't know if you should really be buying another motherboard just because, you know, for aesthetics and stuff. You've already got a really decent system here. 6600K.
Oh, it's a PC Mate.
It's the PC Mate from MSI. More of a budget board. The video card is the RX 480 8GB ROG Strix video card. So you've got a very nice, well-balanced system here, but I think that motherboard is the biggest issue that I'm seeing aesthetic-wise. Maybe...
Oh, he won the case directly from Fractal Josh in a Twitch drawing.
Yes, so shout out to Fractal Josh for making this build possible. I don't know. I feel like if I were you and I really cared about what my PCB of my motherboard looked like, I would probably spray paint it. I would probably plastidip it. I would just get some black plastidip.
You're silly. That's silly.
It's not silly, Paul. It only takes a few minutes, and you can easily revamp the look of your entire motherboard with a few easy steps using plastidip. It is non-conductive, and it can be peeled off even if you don't like the results afterwards. It is non-committal, but fully satisfactional. That is a word now. Plastidip. Plastidip is magical. I mean, I could plastidip my hand right now.
Plastidip is...
And it wouldn't even...
No, don't do that.
I like how you got nervous. You're like, is he that drunk right now?
Because maybe you would.
Because maybe I would.
And I want to be able to keep drinking my beer.
Plastidip sponsorship.
Plastidip. I don't know.
I would be very curious.
The level of work you'd have to do to mask this motherboard off in order to properly
crazy. It would take you an
hour.
It would take you an hour to mask everything off.
Okay.
Just do it.
Sure.
Just plastic tape your
just
board.
do it then.
I'm doing a video on that. Shout out in chat if you want to see me plastic dip a motherboard and see if it blows up or not when I try to boot it.
Linus already did that.
Linus has already done everything.
Here's my only question. What's this green thing? What's green?
Hard drive. That's a hard drive.
Oh, it's a PCB of the hard drive. Okay. All right.
I would assume.
I didn't know what that was at first. I think you're right. It's confirmed down here. Yep, it's a hard drive. Yeah, okay. All right, we have one more. Sean Sipka. Has a 6700K at 4.6 gigahertz, GTX 1080, 16 gigs of Corsair memory, and ASRock Z170M motherboard. Whoop. Custom water cooling in a Node 804 850 EVO SSD, 4 terabyte Seagate RAID 0.
Oh shit.
All right, so CPU.
Like, GPU, what the hell's going on with the other picture?
Other picture. Oh.
2 hard drives taped together is what it looks like. I thought it was a cake. But it looks like 2 hard drives taped together.
This is a Node 804. The Node 804 has brackets up here that are made to support hard drives. Just wanted to point that out.
Just saying. But for whatever reason, Sean has felt to tape the hard drives together on top of the power supply
with standard
in front of a radiator.
With standard tape.
Yeah, just regular tape, just good old Scotch tape.
Somehow, if it were
not gaffer's tape or anything.
If it was like the blue, I like the blue tape. I really like the blue
the
painter's tape.
Oh yeah,
no, the blue painter's tape. I don't know. It's just it's really good tape.
Because it doesn't leave any residue when you peel it off.
Yeah.
So no fuss.
And it looks slightly more professional.
Yeah.
Or also, it looks like there's a dusting of like metal filaments right on top of the hard drives.
Yeah.
Am I the only one seeing this?
Wait, say again? Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, like shavings, like metal shavings or something.
Maybe it's
dust.
foam. Maybe he put foam on top to anti-vibration type of thing. You think?
I don't know, but you should not have hard drives like this.
No, that does not look kosher.
There is a piece of something blocking the airflow from the fan. You should have fan in between these drives. Like a piece of cardboard. You should have airflow in between these drives. Oh, because the pump is just sitting on top of it.
Yep.
Oh, because there's...
This is all wrong.
2 radiators. There's a 240 and a 120 or a 140.
Yeah, it's a weird configuration here.
I'm glad he gave us pictures of both sides, because from this side, it's like, oh, that doesn't look too bad.
Yeah. And you look at the Frankenstein side, like, oh, God, oh, my God. I don't know what to say here. I think you need a new case.
4 terabyte Seagate RAID 0.
Or you need, like, is there a pump mount for... In the Node 80, what is it, 804?
It's the 804. So here's what I think you should do.
It's a massive res.
Because right now you seem to have too many reservoirs in the opposite side over here that's blocking your space that you have for hard drives and whatever.
It needs a bigger case.
I would consider something like taking... There should be top mounts on this side for a radiator. Maybe trying to reconfigure and putting one of the radiators up here, just to free up some space on the opposite side over here, so you can actually use one of the hard drive racks to put your hard drives in. And maybe reconfigure the...
So are his hard drive racks being blocked right now with his configuration?
Yeah, he's got a radiator here with tubing, blocks. And those racks mount at the top right here vertically, so that there's no space for him. So, yeah. But yeah, I don't know, depending on the thickness of this radiator, if you could move it to the other side or something like that, free up space for the drives and for the pump and everything. But yeah,
some SSDs.
Yeah, or just... Well, those are 4 terabyte drives, so... Yeah, I don't know. That's very...
Do you really
It's very weird. It's weird for somebody to go to all of the effort of making a custom water cooling loop.
And then having something so haphazardly thrown together.
Like that, yeah, going on the other side. Cause
it makes me nervous.
Or maybe everything's fine. Maybe it's working fine, and it's perfect. Maybe we don't know what we're talking about.
Yep, that could be the future.
Could be it too.
All right, thanks, Sean. Good luck with that build. Hopefully nothing explodes. Let's move on to our last segment for today.
God.
Last segment, which is Face Off.
Face Off.
Paul and I.
We don't have a lower thirds.
What? That's fine. Who cares? Who cares? We're gonna go to versus game. This is a ping-pong game where Paul and I
this is gonna be terrible.
Fire shit into each other's faces. The loser will have to do something horrible.
For the rest of the show.
For the rest of the show, which will be 10 seconds.
It's going to be very horrible since this is the end of the show.
Yes. Well, maybe I'll just change it to a prank call then.
Can't just change it.
All right, fine.
I'm tired.
Okay, fine.
I'm hungry.
I'm tired and hungry. Go to versus.
Hold on. I need to make it bigger.
So the loser of this game will have to do something heinous and
wrong.
And wrong. It'll be wrong and
this is
savage.
This is Aniki Ping-Pong.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I played this game for like 2 seconds just to make sure that it didn't crash. I know nothing of it other than that. You can go to versus.
Making it bigger so it fills up the screen.
Ah. All right. This is gonna be horrible.
It's a Cerberus Studio Flash game. Versus game.
No, the loser's not gonna plasta dip their head. Guys. Prank call Linus. I don't even know if I have... Do I have Linus's number? I can't remember.
I had his old number.
Maybe we can prank call like Edsel or something.
Right, so wait, how... You can't do that. It's moving the entire screen around.
Alright.
Stop it.
So you have to start slaying. I think your ZX is your ZXC. Z and C move you left and right, and then X is to hit. All right.
Okay. Wait, what?
So basically, you can do it anytime you want. You can hit anytime you want. The idea is to hit each other.
Okay,
we have to basically like it's like a war. It's like I have to like it's like Nerf gun fight. So it just hits you.
How many?
You have
Stop
an
cheating.
infinite number of. I'm not cheating.
Stop cheating, honey.
I'm not cheating. Shut up.
Yeah, you are.
Ah! Stop it, Paul. You're just standing in one spot. It's not fair.
Trying to take advantage of the game's.
I'm winning. Son of a bitch. Oh my god. I hate you.
I'm on top, by the way.
Paul's on top. I'm bottom. I'm red. He's green. It's like AMD and NVIDIA. Oh my god. What the fuck? You son of a bitch. No! No! 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. That was way too close. Do it again. Oh my god. Come on.
Player 1 wins.
2 out of 3. Let's go.
Jesus.
Let's go. Versus.
It starts so quickly.
This game is so good. It's like better than Call of Duty.
Easily. Call of Duty would be so happy to have this type of retention and repeat.
I like how I'm like making an effort to move around. You're just standing in one spot.
Hey, we're tied.
Oh, what the fuck? So that's the game. That's the game. You just stand in one spot and wait for the other guy to move. That's great, Paul. I'm glad you. Oh yeah, you son of a bitch. How do you have 3?
Because I hit you 3 times. That's how the game works.
No. Oh! Oh! No!
That's bullshit! Okay.
Ah! No! Oh, we're at 6! We're both at 6?
This is not fair.
Go away!
What do you play to? Is there a limit you play to?
It's just a timer. It's a timer.
There's a timer. I didn't even realize there's a timer.
Ah! Go to hell!
This game makes no sense.
It makes perfect sense.
My arm hurts.
Oh! Oh no! No!
Stop.
Son of a bitch!
Stop yelling.
No! Draw!
Draw.
Shit!
So that means I win 1-0.
1-0? Okay, well, yeah, we gotta do best 2 out of 3, so let's do one more. Let's see how it goes.
God damn you.
Come on, 2 out of 3. That's what we agreed on. Don't worry. Don't worry, I'll make it easy for you. I'll make it easy for you! You son of a bitch!
I'm trying a completely different technique this time. It's not working.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. God, son of a fuck. Oh, jeez.
Yay. Stop.
Yay.
Stop it.
You stop. You stop.
This game is so exciting.
I am enthralled. It's so much energy. I'm taking the risks. You're just like being an old man. You're being an old. Look at that. Doing bullshit right now.
Just trying to take advantage of the advantage when I have the advantage.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Jeez.
I'm getting wrecked right now.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Wow, this is really.
Oh my god! How is that possible? Oh my god, you got 18 hits? You had 18 hits?
I'm not even gonna shoot anymore, I'm just gonna dodge.
I hate you. You son of a bitch! You come here! You come here right now!
No.
Stop! Stop it!
What? Just
No!
I'm just running
No!
out the clock.
No!
Oh no.
I hate you.
Running out the clock.
I hate you.
Yeah,
Damn cheater!
First player wins. I don't know how I got you up to 18.
I don't know either. This is bullshit.
Doesn't
It's
seem-
total
Doesn't
game's
seem right. It's
stupid.
almost as if the game is not completely fair.
It's clearly choosing favorites. All right. So, as a punishment, I have to wear this banana
Damn it.
on the front of my glasses, while also incurring banana Tourette's.
Oh yeah, the banana Tourette's.
Banana Tourette's. So,
judgments.
throughout the rest of the show, I will have to basically exclaim random banana comments. That's the punishment. You will see.
This seemed like a more like disastrous punishment when it, like I didn't know it was gonna be the very end of the show.
Banana!
Banana.
What?
Do you know where that banana came from?
This came from Taiwan.
Yes, it did.
You Computex 3 years ago, maybe.
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
When you got married.
Yep.
And you weren't there.
You left me this banana.
I won it in a claw machine.
Yes, and yeah, claw machine.
Brought it all the way back here.
And here it is.
At great expense.
Great expense. Yeah, I'm surprised. You know, TSA let you through with it.
Oh, they gave me a hard time, but I had to explain to them, you know, it's for Kyle. Or, oh, it's Kyle. Okay.
Why is everyone typing F in chat?
I don't know.
What does F mean?
I have oil on my
Press
forehead.
F to pay respects. Okay. Well,
There's a big ass booger.
banana peel.
Banana.
What?
I don't know.
I have banana Tourette's, so you can't blame me.
No, I don't.
It's just part of my condition. All right, we are severely late and after hours right now.
Yes, we are.
So, shall we answer 2 questions?
2 questions. We should go.
2 questions Q&A. 2 questions.
Banana. We should do donations.
Banana donations. Let's do donations while you guys answer questions or ask questions. $21 from John Hobble. 3 by 1080, 3 1080p monitors. Recommended video card.
1070.
Get a 1080.
Or a 1080 if you can afford it. 1070.
Get a 1080 if you want some decent frame rates on that shit.
I think you'd do fine with the 1070
Or wait for a 1080 Ti. That'd be even better. $5 from Geezy BT. John Hobble, I'd say a 1060 at the very minimum. Also, is it just Australia or have RAM prices skyrocketed everywhere? Not so much for here in the US. I'd say a 1060 at the very minimum. Oh, okay. Is he answering to the last guys?
He donated and answered John's question.
Okay,
so
yeah, 1060 is
so
very minimum.
Jeezy's really, that was nice of him.
I would say a 1070. I'd say a 1070 at the minimum. I would say a 1070 at the minimum. 3 1080 panels, 1070 at the minimum. 1060 is a mid-range card. 1080, triple 1080 is a more high-end solution.
Yeah.
Go for a 1070 at the very least. If you overclock it, you should be cool. 1080 preferred. $5 from Patrick Horgan.
Thanks, Patrick.
Banana! Do you think that NVIDIA and Intel made their new platform so little beyond my 980 Ti and my Z170 and my 6700K just to annoy me and make it seem silly to upgrade?
Patrick, that's what they always do. They always make something that's like just a little bit better.
Welcome to the game.
And it makes you feel like, man, what I have is just fine.
Yeah.
But what that is just a little bit better.
A little bit.
And then you have to like be like, well, I could spend more money on that, but it's probably not really worth it. And then yeah, but honestly, if you have what you say you have right now, 980 Ti, Z170, 6700K, you're fine.
Yeah.
You have no serious need to upgrade.
Nah.
Unless you're getting a crazy monitor configuration or something like that, but that would be much more the unique situation.
Indeed. Next up, we've got $5 from AD. Bless you. $5 from AD Wheeler. Zotac GTX 1070 Amp Edition, a 5820K processor. Yeah. Should I get a second 1080 or up the processor? No, don't up your processor. Your processor's good. I do a balance of gaming and content creation. X99 board thoughts. Geez. I mean, if you're strapped one way or another. I mean, I guess there's a little bit more you can go for in terms of your CPU.
No.
But I don't know.
Don't do it.
I think you're fine. I think you're fine. With whatever it is you're doing, I don't think adding another graphics card or upping your CPU is not really going to change much in terms of your overall performance unless you're doing some really intensive applications, which I doubt you are.
Yes.
You have a very nice system there, and you should be proud and you should be happy with it.
Yeah.
And just leave it as is, man. You don't need to go all extreme and stuff. You're good.
And if you find that whatever you're doing, since you do say that you do a combination of gaming and content creation, if you find that your system doesn't seem to be keeping up when it comes to the content creation, don't invest in something else right now. Wait until Zen launches, at the very least, which should be coming in the next month and a half. And beyond that, since you're already on Intel's Enthusiast platform, Intel refreshes their Enthusiast platform. That was very nice. That was
pretty good, right?
Aerobic. You get a good workout that way. Intel typically refreshes their Enthusiast platform every 3 years. X99 launched in 2014.
Continue. Oh, don't mind me.
I thought you were gonna infer what I meant from that.
No. I mean, no. I'm not even paying attention.
Intel refreshes their Enthusiast platform every 3 years. X99 launched in 2014.
So 2017 is 3 years.
17.
3 years. Just wait for Skylake X. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Wait for Skylake X.
X299. So what you have right now should be perfectly adequate, at the very least, until you can see how things play out once Zen launches, and beyond that, once whatever we can assume X299 may launch.
I agree with Paul.
Which I have no actual information on.
Nope.
Don't know when that will happen.
Intel's left us in the dark. We know nothing.
We can just figure 3 years. It's 2017.
Unless you want to pay us large sums of money. $5 from Tech Junkyard. I have $2,500 to spend on a camera. What do you think on the Lumix HG5? I'm guessing GH5. For video and photos, I have a Nikon D90. Want to upgrade to any other suggestions that I can consider with 4K video? The GH5. The only thing I really know about the GH5 is that Dimitri from Hardcore Canucks just ordered one.
Yeah.
So it must be a good camera, because he knows his shit.
So I don't know too many of the details yet, but there's no 4K crop factor with the GH5 as there is with the GH4, and that's a pretty nice thing.
You mean
if
full
you
frame?
Shoot 4K. Not the frame, but when you switch to 4K with the GH4, you've done it.
Oh, so you don't really need the speed booster.
If you switch from Have you ever switched from 1080 to 4K with the GH4?
Oh yeah.
It crops. It punches.
So there's none of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It uses more
That's
of
the
the
main
sensor.
feature. I see.
Which is good because you just have more space to work with when you're zooming in or zooming out or that sort of thing. It also means it's actually using more of the sensor to make the image, so you should have a sharper 4K image as well with the GH5. Beyond that, I don't know much about the specs and everything, but I know I love the GH4, so maybe look for a cheaper GH4 because it's a very perfectly adequate 4K camera.
They're probably on sale now.
Yeah, with the GH5 coming out, and that could be something.
Yeah.
Or I mean, if you want, you know, what's new and fresh, consider the GH5, or the G7.
Ooh, yeah.
Also a good,
G7's good too.
a good, inexpensive, comparable camera to the GH4. Okay, $20 from George.
Thank you very much, George Hitler.
Hinderleiter. Buy some sushi.
Oh. Those are the best donations, aren't they? Just like, here's money for whatever you want.
Yeah, for buying things.
I will definitely buy some sushi. Thank you very much, George.
Thank you,
I appreciate that. I very much do.
Yeah.
Next up, we got $15 from Short 9000. Not quite over 9,000, but
9,000.
at least equal to 9,000. Sean here. Thanks for the roast on my PC. As always, you're very welcome. I wanted to try my damnedest to get all of it to fit in the 804. Okay, this is the guy with the scotch-taped hard drives. In the 804, ran out of space. The goal was to make it look good on one side and working on the other. There are high airflow fans in the back side now, and everything works wonderfully and cool and silent.
Oh,
that was foam on the hard drives.
Foam on the hard drives.
That's right. Remember I said that? I was like, oh, it's like foam. A little bit.
That's good. Not metal shavings, which would be a lot less useful.
A little more detrimental to your
foam
system.
would be helpful. It would provide a little bit of gap.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, foam for vibration and stuff. But it was hard to tell from the pictures. It really was. So I don't know, man. I think there's no excuse, honestly. If you only have those 2 or maybe 3 drives in the Node 804,
banana,
you should be able to banana. You should be able to fit those drives comfortably in that system. Otherwise, get a new system. And you shouldn't have to tape them to your power supply with like your water cooling pump on top of those. It just seems a little bit of a unnecessary solution for your hardware there.
Yep.
I don't know. Next up, we've got, last but not least, we've got $15 from AD Wheeler. Thank you for the info, guys. Well, you're very welcome, AD.
Yes.
Thank you for the donation. That's very much appreciated. And I think on that note, we can do some really quick Johnson shoutouts here.
Yay.
I have none. Thank God.
Really? I have 4.
Do it.
Okay, Robert T. from California. San Diego, thanks for grabbing that mug. Much obliged. Hope you enjoy it. It's a good mug. Stop shaking. Also, Thumbscrew Black T-shirt to Johnson for Jonathan from Texas. Thank you, Jonathan, muchly for your purchase. Daniel, good old Daniel H. from Illinois, got the navy blue T-shirt, Thumbscrew T-shirt, the same exact one that Kyle's wearing right now.
Represent.
High quality merchandise.
I sold that.
And finally, Cameron from Oregon got the English Pub Glass, the 20-ounce version. Just like this one that I'm going to continue drinking beer out of.
Do it. And then just really quick to answer some of your questions in here. Kyle, I want to start a tech channel. How do I start it? Just start by making videos every day. Make a video every day.
Not eventually, every day. Maybe every 2 to 3 days.
It depends on how aggressively you want to succeed. If you make a video every day, you will get to where you want to be a lot sooner.
Or you'll burn out a lot quicker.
And that's a good indication of whether or not you really have a passion for it. If you have a passion for it and you do it every day, you won't burn out because it's exactly what you want to do in life. But if you, so Kyle looks like a Muppet. Thank you. I think I wear this look very well.
With or without the banana?
That remains to be decided by chat. Well. I think I look very. I think I'm a creature of many forms.
That's true.
I can go either way.
It's hard to pinpoint.
But guys, we are way overdue right now. It's 8:30. We were supposed to end the show half an hour ago, so we're going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you so much for watching. We super appreciate you guys coming out, whether it be on Twitch or YouTube. Go ahead and toss this video a like on YouTube if you guys haven't already. Thank you so much for joining again. there will be no after party. We're gonna go get dinner. We have things to do. We gotta eat. We gotta make more videos for y'all, and we will be back shortly. We will be back very soon. You'll guys see us later on in the week. We've got lots of cool content and stuff planned for you, right, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah. So.
Lastly, if you're watching us live right now and you would like something to do right now, we're gonna do a
host.
We're gonna do a Twitch raid and a host to a completely unknown streamer, somebody we've never thrown to before.
Oh boy!
So we're really not sure how it's gonna turn out. You guys can let us know how it goes.
Always the best.
We're Cell. Cell has finally just put himself in there. So
we're rating Cell.
We're rating Cell.
Oh, cool. All right.
I don't even know if he's live yet, but everyone go and Twitch raid Cell Processing.
Cell.
He is our esteemed moderator, as well as hugely helpful in chat all the time.
He's the boss.
He also streams on a very regular basis, so if you guys aren't already following him, please go and give him a follow.
He enjoys long walks on the beach.
Yeah, he's sexy and everything.
Eating caviar in the nude.
Twitch.tv/Cell Processing, CELL Processing.
Or you can wait for us to end the stream and I will host it immediately.
Yes, indeed. Go say hi to him. Thanks for watching, everybody. And
bye, everyone.
Have a good day.
Have a good night. I love you. We love you. I'm going to take this banana off my face, and then we'll call it a night.